of you took the ACT? I had a 19, okay? I wasn't allowed into Lower Potomac State University, which doesn't even exist with my 19, okay? But I can learn from Stanford today. I can learn from Berkeley today. I can go to Berkeley and on iTunes and YouTube and Stanford, you see. Anyone can be learning anything from anyone else at any time. I took distance learning and correspondence and TV courses to get into graduate school as a board accountant or a CPA, you see. And now today with the web, there are many other forms to get access. It's not just television, it's not just radio. You know, in Australia, in the Outback, radio works well. In South America, radio and TV, soap opera TV works well to get messages out. And now the web. Anyhow, this is a great book to buy, Reflections on Non-Traditional Learning in the Lifespan. For $1, you can find out about adult learning and lifespan learning in your whole life. This still applies today, written in 1981. Now, Wiedemeyer helped create the Open University in the UK.
Looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately.
I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
Have you seen this movie? Office Space. Yeah, my daughter's favorite movie. Now, 21 things that became obsolete this decade. Phone calls, long distance charges, obsolete. Little floppy disks, you know, little Palm Pilots and whatnot. A lot of technology comes and goes. And then we have new technologies that appear, right, in front of our eyes, whether Kindles and cooler screen readers in the Barnes & Noble Nook, or, you know, or we're talking about the Wii or the iPod or the iPad, you know, I mean, there's so many new technologies of Blackberries and digital cameras and so forth. And at Cleveland State, they got exercise machines that got computers on them. I saw some of you out here in your jogging suits, and I'm assuming some of you are in here. You could be learning and working out at the same time. Now, I've wanted a machine like this for decades. This is cool, you know. This is great stuff. So technology is going to be wrapping around us at all times, right? Now, the reason I'm dressed like this is because when I finished my book, I needed a story to start the book with. My friends had read the book. They said, "Curt, this is great, but it's got great stories at the end. But the beginning kind of sucks, you know. Can you liven up the beginning a little bit?" And so I found a rugby player from UCLA. Her name is Lily Henry Roberts. Any of you play rugby ever? Rugby's a great sport. Yeah, it's a great sport. You played rugby?
In high school.
In high school. Where in high school were you?
In St. Clair's, in Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong, right. Great place to play rugby, right. And whenever I'm in Australia, in New Zealand, I gotta watch rugby. Everyone watches rugby there. So she's playing rugby for UCLA during the school year. And in the summer, she went off on the UCLA Summer Digs project in Hope, British Columbia, near where the Olympics is, 100 miles east of Vancouver. And she's blog posting on her expeditions. She's looking at First Nation people from 12,000 years ago. They're exploring, and others are in Albania, others are in Chile or Mexico, and they're all blog posting and getting 12 to 15 credits. And you can too. It's not just UCLA people, faculty. You could be from 18 to 85 years old and participate in this. Again, I could learn from her from Indiana as an armchair Indiana Jones or Indiana Curt there in Bloomington, Indiana. And so I go back to my notion. 18, 19-year-old people are informing me, and her stories are rich. I mean, her writing's so much better than mine. If you get the book, you'll see what I mean. And there's others. I mean, not just her. And we can keep going on here. We've got Zach Sutherland. Now, you heard about these guys that went around the globe solo last year. This summer, actually, they finished. Crazy people are out there, 16 years old. Zach is going around the world, and he's going in this direction. Okay, so he's going west. And Michael Perham, he's going the other direction. He's going east. And they met in Cape Town together. 16-year-old kids competing with each other to be the first solo sailor to go around the world. And they met Minoru Sato. There's Sato right there, the world's oldest sailor. At 73, he was the oldest sailor to go solo around the world. He's now 75, trying to do it again. You can go to his website. He's trying to accomplish this again. The three of them met. And they blog posted on it, and they video streamed. They have a vlog on this. And I'm going to this, asking them questions from Indiana. They're in Cape Town. So you got someone 6 decades older mentoring these 16-year-olds. And it's going on the web for the world to view the mentoring process. When was this ever possible before? The learning that's taking place, whether you have a geography class, or some kind of, politics or world cultures class, you can follow these guys along. Now, this is Zach's sister. She's 16, just turned 16. She hopes to finish as the youngest person go around the world solo. So hopefully a female can beat the guys, right? All you women in the audience. Now, Zach won. The Americans won. He was the first one in. The problem was Michael, when he got into port in Plymouth, he was a couple months younger. So the Brits now have the record. He also has the record going across the Atlantic Ocean. But he had video blog posts up, some scary stuff when the waves were 20, 30 feet high. He had stories up about pirates attacking him in Indonesian coast. He had to get his rifle out. And some really, really interesting blog posts. And the web's full of stories. There's 53 trillion pages on the web today. We only need 0.001% to be educational, right? We've got people like David Thomas here. Now, David Thomas was a doctoral student. Any of you doctoral students looking for a dissertation topic, Any of you going to travel for your dissertation? He was going to travel to Kandahar, Afghanistan. And his wife said, "You're not going. Not this time." He'd been there before. He told me, he said, "Curt, I've been to Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Lebanon. I've been to some dodgy places," as the Aussies say. But the most dodgiest place, the dangerous place, was where? The UK. Dogs were biting him. He said he's not afraid of any of these places. So when he goes off, now his wife wouldn't let him go, so he did his dissertation from his home. He used Google Earth to locate 450 points of interest around southern part of Afghanistan, military installations and mosques and other things. And he got on Discovery News on the web, and he became the most famous archaeologist in La Trobe University in Melbourne, and probably one of the most famous in the world for a couple of weeks. I once had a student do a research project as a doctoral student, and the Wall Street Journal picked up on it, and she got thousands of emails a day on her research, and she became more famous than any of the professors in my department. The web lets these budding professors get famous before they're even done with their dissertations. Anyhow, the web lets you peer in, so I can learn from him. We've corresponded for the last year, actually, he and I. We're going to meet in Melbourne in July. So any of us can be an armchair Indiana Jones, right?
What does it always mean? Junior. That's his name. Henry Jones Jr. Like Indiana. We named the dog Indiana.
Okay, I like Indiana. All right. So what does Indiana Jones say? In that latest movie, by the way, did any of you see this Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Did any of you like it? Well, it was, younger people hated it. I liked it. Indy says their treasure wasn't gold, it was knowledge. Knowledge was their treasure. Now, we may not have knowledge on the web. We may have information, but the web is filled with information. Some of it knowledge, maybe, potentially. We can turn that into. And so we can be archaeologists, web archaeologists, if you will. Now, my 10 trends, as I said, spell an acronym. They spell We All Learn. And we start with web searching in the world of ebooks, which is really 2 trends. But you need the web to be impacted by the web. Or do you? In fact, you may not need the web at all to be impacted by the web. I'm going to talk about kids in Western China that are impacted by the web without having access to computers at all. We'll come back to that point. We get into my area of e-learning and blended learning. That's the we. And then the all part is this open source software and free software, which everybody likes. You ever do a talk for K-12 teachers, just throw in the word free about 10 times and they get great evaluations, Leveraging resources and open courseware, the MIT stuff on the web, learning object repositories and portals. This is the all. This is like, we call it shovelware. It's stuff on the web. We've got pages of stuff. Free stuff, right? Then we get the most important stuff, the Facebook, the wikis, and YouTube. We get to participate in open information communities like Dig and Slashdot, and YouTube, and Wikipedia. Electronic collaboration, which I was doing last night with folks from the Philippines. We had a Skype conversation for our conference for next week. And the night before, my class was held on the web using Adobe Connect Pro, synchronous. Alternative reality learning, Second Life. Austin's known for Second Life activities. I'll come back to that point. But not just Second Life, but scenarios and cases, very simple things on the web. It doesn't have to be Second Life, advanced virtual worlds. Real-time mobility and portability and networks of personalized learning, the learn part. So, people on this side of the room, you're going to be we. People in the back,